The Elder Scrolls V Morrowind is the fourth entry in the internationally acclaimed Skyrim series, and was single-handedly created by the chess grandmaster Todd. The game was first released in 2002, meaning that it can almost legally consume alcohol in all civilized countries. But that age also has some drawbacks. Do yourself a favour and install some mods. In true Bethesda fashion, you awake as a prisoner on a ship, which has just arrived at the Imperial province of Morrowind. More specifically, the mythical island of Vvardenfell, where many different factions fight for control, where you are frequently attacked by diseased animals and inbred villagers, and where the locals shout racial slurs at foreigners in the street.
You Inwa!
In more true Bethesda fashion, you are immediately met with your first source of entertainment. A man who walks like he shot himself. If you follow Captain Skidmark to the poop deck, you'll get your first taste of this strange new world, and will be faced with one of the game's hardest challenges: character creation. You have the option to craft your character however you want, by selecting a class, a star sign, and a race, all of which have unique skill effects. You can be an orc mage, a Khajiit thief, or, if you're feeling really adventurous, a ginger. From here on, you can do whatever the fuck you want. The world is your proverbial oyster, mate. Although someone does mention that you should swing by Balmora and chat to the Imperial spy there. Or not, I mean, it's up to you really. If you do choose to head there, you will be richly rewarded with one of the greatest sights known to man. Oh yeah. Oh, this boy is thick. And I'm not talking thick with a K, or even like thick with two C's. My boy Caius is thick with like 8 C's. He works out, and he's not afraid to let you know it. He maintains this amazing physique by smoking highly addictive moon sugar and drinking barrels of skooma, which he says helps him to stay undercover. Whatever you say, mate. If you have a wee chat with him, he'll tell you to go out and learn more about the world. And also join a few guilds and houses. And yeah, I'll get to them later. By the way, I'm gonna try my best not to spoil too much of this game, even though I know like 90% of you watching have definitely already played this like 20 times. Yeah, that's right. I see you. I know what you're doing. You just went onto YouTube and typed Morrowind into the search bar. And you just continually fucking hitting F5, refreshing the page, hoping that anyone upload a new Morrowind video. Fucking disgusting. Fuck. Oh, shit. Anyway, as you work through his quests, you'll discover more about this world you've been dropped into, and eventually, it will be revealed why you're here. Apparently Caius thinks you fulfill the prophecy of the fated Neverine, a reincarnated god that the locals await the return of to unite the 4 tribes, defeat those naughty boys under the Red Mountain, and drive the oppressive Imperials from Vvardenfell. So, what is this amazing prophecy that will let everyone know who the Neverine is? A prisoner, born on a certain day to uncertain parents. That's basically it. I mean, that's really all they have to go on. Were you born on the 12th of July and don't know your parents? Congratulations, you're a god now. Right, go defeat evil, bye, see you later. In fact, throughout the game you hear about dozens of other potential Neravars, who were put through the trials and died. Oh, guess he was an actual Nerevar after all. Whoopsies. That's actually one of the main things I love about Morrowind's story. There's just so much uncertainty in terms of what's actually true and who you can really trust. In Skyrim, you're automatically the big man in campus, head of the Mages Guild without learning any magic, and destroying dragons with your 12-inch cock. Meanwhile, in Morrowind, you might be an immortal, all-powerful god, or it could be possible, or even probable, that Caius just woke up from a moon sugar binge, just still absolutely off his head, looked at the calendar, and thought, ah shite, I was meant to find the Neverine for the Emperor. Called his buddy at the customs office, and told him to just send anyone for the next boat that comes in.
Ah, yes!
Even if you become a god by the end of the game, you're definitely not one when you start out. I think it's time to talk about the combat. The combat is shite. Whenever you first start off in your adventures, you're weak as shit. You're like an arthritic grandma whose entire body is made of jelly, and her arms and legs have been replaced with wooden stumps by those local hooligans. Also, she's allergic to shellfish, but the Italian restaurant she likes to go to has accidentally put a wee bit of crab in her lasagna. Now she's not feeling too good. Wee bit uneasy on her feet, you know. She's not having a great week, to be honest. The combat's all based on dice rolls and equations and all that other nerd shit. I'm probably going to get loads of comments telling me how hashtag immersive it is or something, but whenever it takes me 10 minutes to kill a rat after I somehow missed 99% of my swings just because I jogged a little bit too much and drained all my stamina meter, it's not really that fun. Here, I'll just give you an example. So, this is what it's like killing 2 bandits at the start of the game in Skyrim. Easy peasy. Now, this is what it's like killing 2 bandits at the start of the game in Morrowind. Gosh, maybe they just died of boredom. If you actually want to hit something whenever you swing your massive sword, you're going to have to level up the relevant skills. You can do this by either spending your well-earned dinar in training for one of the many trainers around Vardenfell, or you can just increase the skill by using it. And it's not just combat skills. The game has approximately 17 billion different skills you can train, including really useful ones, such as Mercantile and Armourer. Ooh. The 2 skills you're going to want to level over all others are Athletics and Acrobatics, because Jesus Christ, you're slow as fuck at the start of the game. In order to do this, you're going to have to pretend that you're Varius and the floor is to Shadowberg Forest. In other words, avoid that shit. Go find some stairs and spam the jump key, then go to a corner and press Q. Feel free to go away for a while, make some dinner, have a nap, do your taxes maybe, and when you come back, you should be a decent level. Maybe. Probably not. Morrowind is absolutely full of these exploits, and the game just embraces it. I mean, you are trying to become a god after all. There are some exploits, however, that are so broken and overpowered that I'm not even going to mention them in this video. All I'm going to say is take a wee trip to Chaldear Mage's Guild, collect as much Asham's bloating netch leather as you can, and if you're ever short of money, head to this area of the map. If you're hell-bent on breaking the game, then you can figure out the rest for yourself. I take no responsibility for this. Anyway, let's go back to those houses and guilds I was talking about earlier. So the 3 main guilds are the Fighters Guild, the Thieves Guild, and the Mages Guild. And I shouldn't need to explain what they are, hopefully. You can figure it out. For the houses though, I'm going to have to talk about some
Morrowind lore.
And I'm going to get like 90% of it wrong and make some people very, very angry, but oh well, here we go. By the way, I just want to say how much I love the fucking lore in this game. Like, some of it is absolutely mental. The writers must have had the perfect balance of mental illness and drug abuse in order to think some of this shit up. I mean, we have a time-traveling robot knight, a fucking space station, and one of the gods of the tribunal, Vivek, biting the dick off of another god and using it as a spear. What the fuck, lads? What are you on? Also, whenever I went to visit Vivek in the game, I talked to him for a little while, and then just when I was reading about what really happened to Red Mountain, my computer fucking blue screened and wouldn't start up again. I ended up having to reinstall Windows. Cheers, Vivek. Good job. Thanks very much. That's great. Coincidence? I mean, probably. But it could also be possible that he was trying to stop this video from getting made. What are you trying to hide, mate? I'm on to you, Vivek, you wanker. Anyway, yeah, the houses. So there's basically 6 great houses. Induril, who became the Tribunal Temple. Drez, who don't matter at all. Dagoth, who supposedly disappeared after the Dwemer boys tried to build their own mechanical god, just to add to the million other gods in this game. And then there's the 3 main houses which make up the current Grand Council. You can only join one of these, so be careful and don't fuck it up like I did. we have House Redoran, whose headquarters are underneath the shell of a giant crab. They don't like the Empire very much, and value duty and honour above all else. Then we have House Hawkwood, who don't really give a shit about politics, but ally themselves with the Empire just because they want to make some sweet, sweet cash. And finally, we have the best house, the only house, House Telvanni, which is made up of autistic wizards who spent thousands of years studying ancient tombs and learning powerful spells which allow them to avoid small talk with strangers.
You Enwa!
They hate outsiders so much that they don't even have any stairs in their mushroom towers. Don't know how to levitate? Fuck you, you pleb. You don't get to travel around my tower then. A for looks, F for disability access. In order to advance up the ranks of these guilds, you're going to have to do some quests. These range from, go get me some flowers, to kill the Archmagister of the Telvanni, because he's being a fucking pain in the ass. These quests don't have quest markers or compasses or any other weak shit. You get a journal and the quest giver will just give you some vague information, like, Hjalmar of the Fighters Guild told me to go find the magical ring of Schnellchef. He told me it was somewhere in the Galbo Ancestral Tomb, which is northwest of Blaglad. Follow the eastern slope of the mountain and walk backwards until you reach the Dwemer ruins of Fluggelbud. If you pass the citadel of Radaran, you've gone too far, but if you don't reach it, you haven't gone far enough. Then follow the coastline west until you reach the Ashlander. Sometimes, just for that extra level of realism and immersion, the quest giver would give you the wrong goddamn directions, and the tomb will actually be northeast of Glablad, not northwest. Whoops. At one point, I accidentally went to the wrong town and ended up searching for like half an hour for some guy who was halfway across the map. And if you ever get a quest where you have to escort someone, good luck. They will literally run and fucking jump off a cliff to go fight a drow who's halfway across the map when you're not looking and just constantly get themselves killed. Yeah, the AI in this game is a bit special. At one point, I went to bed after a long Morrowind session and drifted off to an uneasy slumber. While I was asleep, a shadowy figure appeared to me in a dream. He slowly approached me and growled in an angry voice that he was going to punish me for only owning 3 copies of Skyrim. When I played Morrowind the next day, I found the punishment had came true. He had gone back in time and retroactively made the inventory AI absolutely unusable. I cried as I attempted to find the potion of Fortify Health, which I knew was in the menu somewhere. But alas, I was unsuccessful. While you're in those menus though, you get the chance to listen to some amazing music from Jeremy Soule, which really has some soul. Fuck me. While the music is definitely good, there's only like 6 tracks, so do yourself a favour and download your own music. Young Scrolls and AllIN are a good shout for some absolute bangers. Alright, I could seriously go on forever about this game, but I need to make this video somewhat watchable, and Vivek's already tried to put a stop to this, so I'm just going to end this here before I lose even more footage. Whenever I saw people saying that Morrowind was the best Elder Scrolls game and that Skyrim and Oblivion were shit, I used to think they're just enlightened by their own intelligence. But yeah, now that I've played the game, I can honestly say that I can see where they're coming from. I mean, yeah, some parts haven't really aged that well, and it's a wee bit rough around the edges, but the overall world and atmosphere is just unlike any other game I've played. Seriously, give Morrowind a go, and if you can get past the first few hours, then you're in for a great adventure. Even if you don't end up playing the game, please just read some of the lore. I absolutely love that shit. Still though, the game isn't as good as Dog's Life. 0 out of 10.
That's disgusting. I think you should leave before I lose my lunch.